Hello, everyone. I'm Joel Baird, General Manager of Missoula Community Access Television.
And I'm Kim Anderson. I'm on the board of MCAT, and I'm the Director of Programs and Grants for Humanities Montana.
Welcome, dear viewer, to this, our second show in what we think is our sixth
season.
That's right.
Right.
And we have a few things to say about our respective organizations. For my part, I'm just going to remind the viewers that we are offering a Saturday animation for kids between the ages of 9 to 13, and that is from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. There is a small fee associated, $10 for one kid, or if you bring in two, it's $15 for the 4 hours of doing stop animation.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is.
How many years have we been doing that?
I think we're in our 5th year
of
offering the Saturday animation, and they're pretty popular. You know, kids get to make friends with other kids here, and if they want to work alone, that works out just fine too, or they want to work in groups. Mostly, they're playing with Legos. They have all different Legos characters. They got Star Wars now, and they have various vehicles and so on. And then, Lord love them, the little kids, they like to move it, take a picture, move it, take a picture.
To me, it seems to take an inordinate amount of patience.
Exactly.
Right? I would not be able to do this at all.
The kids, some kids seem to love it. You can learn a little more by visiting MCAT.org. I think Scott is away right now, letting in another guest.
Right.
Oh no, he's back.
But
so he
here
could show you the
right?
website. Yeah. Or the Facebook, well, whatever. So you can learn more at MCAT.org. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Kim, to talk about, you guys have a new website.
We do have a new website, and it's really beautiful. There it is. Yeah. This is my colleague, Brooke Beakley, who created our new website with our electronic communications developer, Valerie Mann, and it looks great. So any questions you have about our programs or grants, and especially we are pleased to announce that in conjunction with launching a new website and a new look, we are also relaunching all of our grants. So some people may know that we went on hiatus for all but our small grants over the past year as we kind of did all this redesign and analysis of our programs. And we're back in the grant business.
Great,
so
congratulations.
Our first deadline for regular grants, any sort of project that involves the humanities, whether it's history or current events, philosophy, environmental studies, art history or criticism. That deadline is December 20th. It is for projects that are looking for over $1,000 in funding. And it is, the decisions will be known by mid-January. So that's for regular grants, also for research fellowships. If you are involved in a project where you need some funding to help you, let's say, travel to an archive to do some research on a topic, on a humanities topic, that's a December 20th deadline. Those grants are for up to $4,000, and it's the only grant we accept that an individual can apply for. So if you're a scholar, don't have to be a traditional scholar working at a 4-year institution. You can be a homegrown scholar.
That's great.
And then our opportunity grants, which are smaller funds for up to $1,000, and those are available starting October 1st.
Excellent.
So I hope people will take advantage of that. We have money.
Do you say, as other places have said, because I'm kind of working on a grant for MCAT, if you have any questions, call, or you like an early submission because that gives people time to retool it if they misunderstood a guideline or something?
Yes, we can't emphasize that enough.
Yeah, like don't be shy.
Don't be shy. It is my job to talk to people about their projects and save them time. If sometimes it's just not a topic that's within our funding guidelines, and we feel terrible when people go through all that work, and we're just like, oh, I could have saved you that. I also love to read early drafts. The thing that makes me saddest is when someone just submits something
at the
over
last
the
minute
transom,
or like
as
the
they
deadline
say.
or whatever.
That I've never heard about this project. I never knew it was coming in, and so that means I had no opportunity to try it because it's my job to make sure these proposals are the best they can be.
Right. But see, it's sort of counterintuitive. Like when I'm thinking of applying for a grant, I feel like, well, I'm putting on a show, right?
I better act like I have my act
together. You wouldn't go out to
the
audience and be like, I'm going to be this character, and do you think I should wear this kind of tie as this character?
But see, I'm the in-between person.
Yeah.
As staff, I don't vote on these grants.
Yeah, right.
Our board votes on the grants. So it's my job to make sure that I can present my board with the best applications possible.
So don't be shy, dear viewer.
Yeah, I'm like your maid.
Just call her, 243 something or other,
6022.
6022, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so there's that. And then there's a partnership going on. You know, we're statewide organization, so lots of what we do isn't germane to this show, and I don't talk about it. But we're actually partnering with the Missoula Public Library on this really cool program called Revolutionary Words. And it's been going on all month, so some of the events have already happened. But it is all sorts of different discussions and films and presentations on our Constitution, our founding documents, and how they still have relevance today. And so, for instance, tonight, I'm going to this tonight, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's a discussion for adults on revisiting the founding era. And law professor and one of our speakers, Anthony Johnstone, who is just terrific. He is Montana constitutional law expert and a national constitutional law scholar. And he's going to lead us in a dialogue about what it means, what were the founders' enduring ideas, and how are they still in operation today? Certainly things have changed a lot. And how do they influence our lives? What does it matter to us? Why should I know about them? That it does, you know.
Right.
So that's happening tonight at the library at 6:30 in the large meeting room on the ground level.
300 East Main Street.
He's my guy. Then on Wednesday, September 25th, there's a young adult discussion on kind of the same topics. It's going to be led by an attorney in town and sociology professor, Larry Manch. And he's going to kind of lead the same sort of discussion with young people. That's again at 6:30 this Wednesday for young adults. And then on Monday, September 30th, there was this really cool film that came out a few years ago called American Creed. And it was inspired by former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice and Pulitzer Prize-winning historian David M. Kennedy. And they come from very different political perspectives and different backgrounds. But what they wanted to do was to have a very nonpartisan film that explored and talked with people from all walks of life about what to them does it mean to be an American.
Interesting. And
it certainly seems like it's at least as relevant, if not more so now. So we're going to show the film, and then Lowell Yeager, who was our poet laureate, who travels the state for humanities, Montana, is going to lead a discussion with a panel that includes experts from all different sorts of walks of life. Representative from the Daughters of the American Revolution, and somebody from Soft Landing, Missoula, and someone from Valor House, veteran. So all these people who come to the table with their own concept of what it means to be an American to them. And if you go to that event, and this is something the library can't promote on their site, but I can. If you go to that event, which is next Monday, September 30th, you'll get a token from Imagination, which will give you $2 off a beer. And you can continue the conversation on October 2nd, 2 nights later at Imagination.
Great.
And we'll be promoting that on the HM Facebook page, so look for information about it.
Wow, that's great. And you maybe should ask MCAT to record it.
That would be so great.
Yeah.
Yes, I will. So I'm sorry that was a lot, but I just think it's a super cool series.
And it's happening now.
And it's happening right now. Go tonight.
For the next 2 weeks, the show will be in replay.
Right after this show, I'm going.
See? Okay, well, we better get on with the show.
I know.
Nancy D. Pastino is here. Welcome. She is the Suicide Prevention Coordinator for the Missoula City County Public Health Department.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I thought of you. You would spend some time on Scott's show.
Yeah.
And we want to give you a little more time to discuss the issues. We've just passed, I think, National Suicide Awareness Week, but we're still in September, which is National Suicide Awareness Month.
Right. And so we're definitely going to take opportunities all month to, help spread the information about our movement to end suicide. We are working really hard in Missoula and seeing some some good results with our numbers. What I'm really excited about is our coalition, Project Tomorrow Montana. And I'll give you one of those cards. But that's our Suicide Prevention Coalition. And it's a partnership between the United Way of Missoula County and the Missoula City County Health Department. And the coalition is really made up of people from agencies all over Missoula. So schools and law enforcement and mental health professionals, survivors groups, and then the business and nonprofit community all sit at this table to say, like, what role can we have in reducing suicides in Montana? And we really work on, figuring out what the gaps in our system are, where people are falling through the cracks, and trying to improve those systems. And when we have, people from the mental health community and law enforcement there sitting at the same table trying to figure out what's wrong with this picture when somebody's in a mental health crisis and calls 911 and the police don't have any option except to bring them to the emergency room, which is not the best place for somebody going through a suicidal crisis. And so we just worked with Western Montana Mental Health, has just really opened their doors to their Dakota House, their mental health crisis facility. And it's beautiful to see people having this conversation and saying, like, what's happening? Oh, how can my agency help? And that's what I just am full of gratitude to this community for being so deeply and kind of diversely involved in this issue.
Well, and as with everything, I mean, partnerships just allow you to amplify the effects and your effectiveness so much. I just want you to know that I saw this on campus today.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so it's out there.
Yeah, and so one of my new interns from the university is working really hard, and she runs Mental Health Allies. She's one of their co-chairs, and so we're really working hard to work closer with the university and see what we can do to help, just enhance their mental health support systems there.
That's a crucial time of life,
sure,
I think,
yeah.
for a lot of young people.
Yeah, I think that it's the second leading cause of death for adults ages 15 to 24, so that's
pretty high.
It's
and
really
does
high.
Montana stack relatively high on the incident rate of suicide completion?
We have the highest rate of suicide in the nation.
In the nation?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And we've, for the past 40 years, have been in the top 5. So that's not, we kind of trade spots with Alaska and Wyoming usually. The Rocky Mountain states have the highest rates of suicide in the nation, and a lot of that is lack of mental health facilities and easy access to firearms with very lax gun laws, because suicide is very often an impulsive act. And so the presence of something as lethal as an unlocked firearm can mean the difference between life and death often. So we talk all the time about how means matter. Lock up your guns. We're not saying people shouldn't have guns.
Right.
We're realistic about the prevalence of guns in Montana, but people really need to be smart about how they're storing their firearms and making sure that they're not available to for an impulsive mental health crisis.
Right, because you mentioned one of the highest risks groups is ages 15 to 24. Right. So there you have young people, and they may not have a firearm of their own, but if there's one commonly placed in the household with easy access, and as you said, like the impulse toward suicide, it may last an hour or a couple of hours.
Yeah, it's interesting
peak
that
really fast.
It's very impulsive, and most suicide. They've surveyed people who have attempted suicide before to try to figure out how much time lapses between deciding you're going to complete suicide and the actual act, the actual attempt, and the majority of those are less than 5 minutes.
Wow.
This is pretty wild,
It's
isn't
really,
it?
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's a little bit shocking when you think about it. So then when you think about, well, why is a gun so much more dangerous? Because when it's an impulsive act, time matters.
Right.
And so in suicides where firearms are used for the attempt, 80 to 90% of those result in death. When substances are abused, overdoses on medications, 2 to 3% of those result in death.
Wow, so that's
Although
really low
that's
risk.
used way more often than guns. That's a number one attempt method. But still, most suicides
But
are
it's
by
less
firearms
successful.
because
Yeah.
they're legal. Yeah.
So that's really something to focus on because it's such a multifaceted problem, right?
Right.
You probably have incredibly
Sure
high
is.
rates among Native Americans
Right.
on reservations. What can you do about that? Nothing immediately, but if you try the firearm sequestering trick,
Yeah.
you may be making a big dent in the successful incident rate.
Well, yeah, and when we go out and we teach QPR out of our my office, which stands for Question, Persuade, Refer, and it's a suicide intervention training that anybody can do in an hour to an hour and a half, and our volunteers will come to your organization for free and teach QPR. But one of the things that we teach is asking the difficult question. When you know we talk about the signs of suicide, risk factors, and all that stuff, and then we say when you suspect that somebody is in a suicidal crisis, you always ask directly the question, are you suicidal? When somebody is in as much pain as I can see you're in, they sometimes think of killing themselves. Are you thinking of killing yourself? So very directly ask that question, and it's tough to do.
Sure, I think.
But we kind of talk through it when we teach QPR and try to help people get over that fear, because when somebody's in that kind of crisis, they need somebody to just open up and understand where they are instead of dancing around it. And then we also teach, once you've asked that question, you have to ask, like, do you have a plan? And if there is a plan, is there a lethal means that's easily available to them so that you can try to intervene in that way and interrupt the plan?
Great idea. I mean, people often, give people space. They say, oh, they're really depressed, or oh, I haven't. Socially, we're often tit for tat, right? If
Yeah.
someone calls you, you'll call them back.
Yeah.
But if they seem to drop out, then you're like, well, I guess I'm not as important. And they may actually be isolating and suffering
Absolutely.
and so on.
Yeah,
And I think
absolutely.
we're also, cautious about asking something that's potentially embarrassing, asking something that is just socially
Invasive
awkward,
or-
invasive, and
It is, yeah.
but when you're with someone who you can see is in pain,
Yeah.
I mean, then those. What I think is brilliant, though, is that there's one way to get over that kind of hesitancy and awkwardness, and that's to practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
And
what
that's why
you're offering.
we do practice it in QPR trainings, and we have people role play
Yeah.
with their neighbor, and honestly, it really does help you get over that initial hurdle and once you understand why it's very important to ask that question, you're a little bit more willing to, step outside of your comfort zone and ask, and the important thing is that you do ask, and that you don't think, oh, somebody else will ask, or I'm not that person. And it's not something, QPR it's a kind of a play on CPR.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So it's just like CPR, you're not meant to go in and become that person's mental health
Right.
professional and work on their mental health with them for long term. It's a crucial moment where you're saving their life and keeping them safe for now, and then referring them to the appropriate people. So we're not asking, you to become the lifelong companion,
Right.
because a lot of people are intimidated. They think, do I want to get into this with this person? This is really dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's understandable. But I think it's really important to know that simply asking the question and helping somebody find the help that they need can really be a matter of life or death.
Right, and it seems like it's just about to break the cycle of impulse because
Yeah.
people feel different things at so many different times.
Right.
So they may have this intense desire to end their life on day one, and by day 10, that's evaporated or it's so much less than what it was.
Right.
And that's why you have that prevention line.
Yeah, Joel, I brought you one of these because I thought you might want to put it up
Yeah.
somewhere in the office. But the Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-TALK, is something that anybody can call anytime. There's also a text line. It's 741-741. And if you text MT to 741-741, that's great because they just know that you're coming from Montana. And that, I just like to have some have some data on that about how many people. But our suicide prevention, our calls from Missoula County into the suicide prevention line have gone up by 99% in the last 2 years.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
And I know that sounds shocking because it's like, oh no, are so many more people in
But
trouble?
it's
So many more people are learning about
Yeah.
the Lifeline and
Okay.
knowing where to go for help. And so we see that as very encouraging
Right.
news. So
That's
yeah.
really great. Now,
Yeah.
if somebody's watching and they're part of a work group and they would like to have the QPR training,
Yes.
do they
Yeah.
just contact you?
They call my office at the health
Okay.
department. That's 258-3881. And we'll get you scheduled, and we'll come into your organization. We also do QPR free and open to the public the second Tuesday of every month at the food bank from 5:30 to 7. So
that's
anybody
really
can come.
good.
So if you're not a part of an organization that
Right.
could invite us in to come train, then you can come to one of our free ones at the food bank.
And the food bank is on Wyoming Street.
That's right. Yep, Wyoming, over by the bowling alley.
It's really close to Russell, you guys.
Yeah,
our
right.
across from
beautiful
Home
new
Resource.
food bank.
Yeah, I
yes.
should have the address in my head.
I
don't.
should too.
Yeah.
I don't.
But they have a beautiful community space.
Yes.
now,
Yeah,
so
they
it's
do.
Yeah, it's
It has a
great.
library in it and
Yes.
some Spectrum science toys.
Yeah,
for
so we're
kids.
so grateful to them for being our perennial hosts.
It's
Right.
great
Yeah.
to just have it an ongoing every.
I like to always have something on the calendar that people can come
Yeah.
to if they
Right.
can't schedule it for their own. Yeah.
Well, that's smart because people get the idea and are
Yeah.
motivated, and it doesn't always last. So
Totally. Yes.
Well, Nancy, we better move along, but thank you so much
You're
for spending
welcome.
the time.
yes, such
grateful to be
great
here.
Yeah, we'll
work.
put this
We'll
up.
put this
Great,
up.
great.
And thanks for doing this work. I know it can't be that easy, too.
I find it very rewarding, and
Yeah.
I really just it is such a community effort, and it's really beautiful to see how Missoula wraps its arms around
Yeah.
this.
It's a
so.
caring
Yeah.
town.
Well,
sure is.
building this coalition is key. So
Yeah, that's brilliant.
congratulations.
Thanks for having me.
And we're going to be right back. Sam Duncan is here from YWCA, and also we're expecting Linda McCarthy from the Missoula Downtown Association. I wanted to mention Homecoming.
Yes.
Speaking of the quiet village of Missoula, that on Saturday, October the 5th, will be the Homecoming Parade. That week is a whole bunch of activities you could learn about if you went to University of Montana's Alumni Association online. But since MCAT live streams and has been recording the parade for 19
Forever.
years, yeah, I thought I would mention, if you'd like to participate in the Homecoming Parade, it will be Saturday, October the 5th at 10 a.m. We'll see what the weather brings. And Scott's got prepared a little clip that we'll show you before we get the next guest.
This is from
in.
last year?
It's from last
Okay.
year's Homecoming Parade. So we'll be right back right after a little parading.
Mountain Pug's page, a companion animal with a goofy side. The pug is proof that the universe has a sense of humor. Look how cute they are. I was going to say, this one looks thrilled. Aww.
Our next entry is the Fraternal Order of Eagles, an international non-profit organization uniting fraternally in the spirit of liberty, truth, justice, and equality to make human life more desirable by lessening its ills and promoting peace, prosperity, gladness, and hope. People helping people is a statement that guides the charitable actions of the Fraternal Order of Eagles and has led the Eagles to donate more than $100 million annually. As part of the charitable philosophy, the Eagles give back 100% of all the contributions received in the form of grants. All administrative costs are paid by the international organization through their membership fee.
All right, welcome to the Montana Army National Guard. The Montana Army National Guard serves our great state with civil outreach programs and natural disaster aid and relief. The men and women of the Guard work as part-time soldiers and full-time Montanans to serve our community. If you are interested in becoming one of Montana's elite, please meet with us after the parade or at our storefront at Russell and Broadway. Montana Army National Guard.
The Missoula County Fire Protection Association presents Smokey Bear. Smokey looks awfully good for 74. He reminds you that only you can prevent wildfires. Kids, if you find matches, get them to an adult as fast as you can. He also wants to remind everyone to check your smoke alarms when you get home today. Smokey, thanks for being here, buddy. You look
And
good.
Sparky, too. Sparky's driving in that nice refurbished Montana DNRC Wildland fire engine. That's old school right there.
That's so
We are
funny.
back.
Oh, hi.
And we're here with Sam Duncan. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hey.
They are representing the YWCA in terms of a great program. This one is GRITS, Girls Represented in Trades. Trade.
Grit.
No, grit.
Grit.
No,
Singular
plural.
grit.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
Tell
absolutely
us-
cursed himself with that.
Yeah. Tell people a little bit about this because I know the workshops are coming up soon.
Yeah, so GRIT does free hands-on skilled trades workshops for girls and gender diverse youth, usually ages like 11 to 18. So we serve middle schoolers and high school age people. Yeah, and we do programs year-round actually, but kind of the first program of the school year starts this Thursday. So that's exciting, and it's the first day of a 4-day carpentry workshop for high school age people.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah.
So where's that going on, and how do you find out
Yeah,
more
Scott's
info?
showing
We've got the
kind of the
website up.
website.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so it's taking place. We're actually, this is like a huge partnership between the YWCA GRIT program and the Food Bank and Homeward and Trust Montana, who've been building out an affordable housing development behind the food bank. It's very
Excellent.
cool. Montana Street Homes, check it out. But we're going in to help build out this like Garden City Harvest sponsored, another partner, garden area where community members can grow food and hang out. So us and our young people participants are going to go build a like shade structure and some ADA picnic tables and like a seating area so that people can go hang out behind the food bank and near this really cool housing and some beautiful garden beds. It's going to be great.
So it's very practical. People that participate in the workshop will be building real space for real people to be occupied real soon.
Yeah, and they're learning real skills that they can use for the rest
Yeah.
of their real lives. Yeah.
So
I
great.
know.
No, I mean, you read over and over and over that there, not enough. They can't find enough workers in construction fields,
Yep.
and it's becoming a real issue. So
Yeah.
this is
Definitely.
a no-brainer, and yet I think I'm assuming that this is in response to kind of a gendered historical take on the trades, and that it's male dominated and male oriented, and this
Yeah.
is to achieve skills and a comfort level for people who identify as female or non-binary.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, those spaces still are heavily gendered, from a high school classroom to a dad teaching his son how to do X, Y, Z. These skills
Right.
aren't typically offered to people who don't identify as boys or men. And so to be able to offer these skills to other gender identities and to create a safe learning environment for them where they feel open to asking questions and open to being that person with that knowledge
Right.
and to being able to answer other people's questions is like a really powerful thing. And yeah, definitely responding to a need for workers, but also a need for a generation of people who know how to do stuff, Like,
Right.
if you have these skills, you can do it yourself at home. You can teach your friends how to do it yourself. I personally want to help usher in a generation of people who know how to do stuff and be self-sufficient and share those skills with their neighbors. I think that's vital going forward and right now, and it's so empowering.
So, dear viewer, if you're out there watching, the website is YWCA of Missoula, and sometimes it looks funny. When it says just one string. YWCA of Missoula.
Yeah.
It just looks weird. But if you go there, that will lead you to the GRIT singular.
Yeah.
And the age range, is there a particular?
For this upcoming workshop, it's high school aged youth, so 14 to 18-ish, but we're always pretty flexible with that. Yeah.
And can youth just show up, or is there a registration?
Is required. I mean, if people show up, we're flexible, but it's ideal to know how many
Of course.
drills we need.
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah.
health waivers, because we are using saws and things, so
Right.
some forethought is required.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there a fee for the participation?
No, all of our workshops are free. Yeah.
That's
we
so
help with
great.
rides. Yeah, we want as few barriers as we can make it. So.
Oh,
That's
that is
really
so
great.
awesome. I wish I was that age because
Yeah.
I need those skills.
Yeah.
You can still
Well,
gain
Sam,
those
is
skills.
there, could you want to give a
cheating.
little bit of an overview of the guts and the grit?
Yeah, so GUTS is the Girls and Gender Diverse Youth Using Their Strengths, and that's like kind of a widely beloved and known program in Missoula generally, but they have in-school programs and after-school programs and summer programs for elementary, middle schoolers, and we're just now getting into high schoolers. But the purpose of GUTS is to kind of help young people identify and use their strengths, and particularly, again, we're catering to girls and gender diverse youth who are often like made to be bodies without brains and aren't like able to find or identify their inner strengths because they're not offered a space to do so. So the GUTS program helps young people find that inner strength and be like, this is what's awesome about me, and like this is something to be like valued and protected, and I have power here. It's awesome. The GUTS program's amazing. And that kind of curriculum is taken into the GRIT program as well. So if we have a long program like this carpentry program, we'll carve out like an hour or two when we're not on the job site, and we'll have a conversation about body image or gender or sexism and their experiences with those things. Because young people know about this stuff and aren't often given a space in which to talk about it or to acknowledge it, especially not in a room where they're like talking about it in a classroom with like some of the boys who hassle them, right?
Right.
So creating a safer environment for them to actually share their feelings and explore them and feel validated is really powerful. Yeah, and GRIT is just like the GUTS program, but we do skilled trade stuff. So we have like a project that we're working on, and we're building skills as we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's terrific.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's off topic really, but you know how the Y is also making that
New
new
building.
building.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be amazing. It's
Yeah.
like how many units in there? Oh, it shouldn't bother you because it's not
This is
your
not
area.
my
It's a lot.
job, but
It's a lot.
I think there's, probably, I think it's between, it's like high 20s or high 30s
Yeah.
of family units that we'll
Yeah.
have for homeless families to come stay and have like just a beautiful place to find community and safety and be like truly comfortable and at home. It's going to be awesome.
It's an amazing
really exciting.
project. So I would just encourage the viewers to look at that website, YWCA of Missoula, and you could learn more, you know, about the whole organization.
Yeah, all the wonderful
It's
things
so
they
darn
offer.
humble on West Broadway. It's like,
I know.
you know,
How did you get involved in this work in particular? Did you grow up knowing how to do carpentry and stuff? Did you teach yourself?
I kind of grew up teaching myself, just like, you know, I had busy parents, so I would like steal the saws and go into the woods and build a tree fort. But you know, the rest of my skills, I still feel gate-kept from a lot of spaces in which I want to learn, you know, new skills like carpentry or like auto mechanics. I know so many dudes who have those skills and who are a little bit weird about sharing or about being generous in their sharing. And so I've like made my own way, and am like just so excited to be able to offer these opportunities to other young people.
Or make it easier.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And like exciting and not scary.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's so cool.
yeah. So if you know of a high school aged student, female or non-binary, non-gender identified, here's a great opportunity coming right up, and you just visit ywca.missoula.org and
Yeah.
put in the grit. Well, Sam, anything you want to add before we move along?
No, you could also follow us on Facebook or on Instagram. Gritty Guts is our Instagram handle. And it's a great way just to like keep in touch with younger people, and that's how we do a lot of our communication with participants and stuff. So
Right.
Gritty Guts.
Gritty
on
Guts.
Gritty Guts.
Instagram. We're going to show you the parade again. Should we do it? All right.
Sure.
We'll show you the parade again. We're just going to hit on the parade because Angela couldn't be here from the Alumni Association of University of Montana to tell you that Alumni Week, which has an assortment of activities,
All
right?
sorts of events.
So that means the week really starts a week before the homecoming parade.
Right.
So you can look at the Alumni Association of the University of Montana. But here's a little look at MCAT's coverage of homecoming parade from last year. And we'll be right back with Linda McCarthy from the Downtown Partnership.
Afraid.
Thank you. Mary Maids, house cleaning services, relax. They got you, it's done. Don't worry about your housework. Let Mary Maids do it. They'll take care of you. Thanks for being here, guys. Mary Maids.
Mary May's keep going. Save 35.
Next, we have a series of floats from the Missoula Republican Party, representing more than 30,000 Republican voters in Missoula County. This is the Missoula Republican Party, represented by Senator Steve Daines, U.S. Senate candidate Matt Rosendale, Congressman Greg Gianforte, and other hardworking public officials.
Make America great!
How are you? Good, go Grizz. Let's get a victory today, huh? Again, our Republican entry in the parade, Matt Rosendale for Senate. Brad Cheetah for House District 97. Randy Cheetah for House District, is it 99? All right. Thanks for being in the parade.
Here comes the Ambulance from Tamarack Public House, serving local beers, burgers, pizza, and more. A Missoula institution, proud supporter of the University of Montana since 2011. Try their Hat Trick Hop IPA, Yard Sale Amber, or Training Wheels Root Beer. 7 days a week, downtown Missoula. Go Grizz.
And the Montana District of Kiwanis. We are Kiwanis Strong, members of all three Missoula clubs. The Downtown, Sentinel, and Grand Creek clubs raise money to help children in western Montana and the world.
Watch these guys. Montana's first and only axe throwing facility. It's a movie available for rent at any event or part of a corporate event, tailgates, family reunions. It is lumber.
I'm not putting socks on. Oh.
No, we're back.
Now
We're
Missoula knows I'm not putting socks
talking
on.
about our footwear, dear viewer, and how we're protesting the forecast of snow.
We are not going to give
for
in
the
till we have
weekend.
to.
Right.
We
But
want
we
the
are
fall
here
below
with Linda McCarthy. Welcome.
Thank
to
you.
As the Executive Director of Missoula Downtown Partnership, which the partnership, it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
There's the BID, there's the Missoula Downtown Association, so there's a BID, the MDA,
And
and
the Missoula Downtown Foundation.
Missoula
right,
Downtown
okay.
Foundation.
Yeah, so we operate 3 organizations out of our office at 218 East Main Street. And the Downtown Association is the one that everybody's most familiar with. It's been around since 1975. It's the membership-based business organization. So we do all the community festivals and events that you love, manage Cares Park, do the flowers, the banners, the downtown gift card program, all that good stuff. The Business Improvement District is the property owner organization, and it's been around since 2005, and it's the one that focuses on clean, safe, and economic vitality. So all of our common area maintenance and management is in that organization. And then the Downtown Foundation's been around since 2010, and it's the fundraising arm for master plan implementation and capital improvement projects. So things like the wayfinding signs. We've raised and reinvested $650,000 into Cares Park improvements. You know, we've done a bunch of, holiday decor work and the Light Our Bridges project. So 3 organizations, 3 boards, 3 budgets, but a unified staff serving all 3.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
And the downtown master plan is coalescing again,
Yes,
isn't
it
it?
is. So this is our second downtown master plan. We just had Dover Cole and Partners back last week. So we're in the process of adoption. We've had almost 4,000 Missoulians participate in that planning process.
It's been an amazing process, I have to say. I haven't been involved in all of it, but I've tried to, and it's interesting. You really feel like you have a stake in it.
Yeah, you do.
And it's very transparent.
And inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what we've learned is Missoulians care about people and place. And downtown belongs to all of us. It's the heart of our community. It's not just another neighborhood. And its health and well-being impacts all of us as individuals, as businesses, as families. Sure. And we really want our downtown to be accessible and inclusive for everyone. And clean and safe are sort of baseline
things that make a downtown vibrant. So the master plan's going through adoption. We should have it fully adopted by the end of October. And then it sets the new 10-year vision for the future of downtown. And the other thing we've been working on is renewal of the business improvement district. So by state law, every 10 years you go out to the property owners and you ask, do you want to continue to self-assess for common area maintenance and management? And if so, you sign a petition, and that petition gets verified and approved. And you need at least 60% of your property owners to want to do renewal in order to continue to provide those services. So we're in that process right now, and I'm hoping we'll be done by the end of the year. And we've had broad-based, really good support for renewal of the BID, 650 property owners.
Yeah, I'm sure that's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, you see the evidence of what it does for you.
Yeah, and hopefully you feel safer when you're downtown. That's a really important part of having a vibrant city center, because if you don't feel safe, nothing else matters.
Right, it's sort of the baseline.
It's the baseline, yeah. And so in that space, you know, we created the Ambassador program in 2006. Ambassador Dave is always out on the street, helping customers, directing them to different places to get what they need, teaching them how to use the parking kiosks, you know, providing information about festivals and events coming up, best place to get lunch. You know, he's really good at helping folks on the street. He also helps get information out to our businesses about what's coming up, you know, things happening downtown they need to be aware of. And then we started the dedicated downtown policing program in 2009. So we've had a dedicated downtown police officer for 10 years. That's a partnership between the Business Improvement District and the City Police Department, where we pay for a uniformed patrol officer to patrol downtown on foot, on bike, year-round. And of course, the Missoula Parking Commission does help us fund that as well. And Officer Crestel's down here 40 hours a week patrolling the streets. He's, you know, talking to business owners and property owners, helping them, you know, with safety issues around their buildings. You know, he's working with some of our transients and, you know, homeless and panhandling folks, and, you know, helping them get the services that they need, or helping them move on, or, you know, getting them out of the door of the business owner. He's shifting his hours. He sometimes works 5:30 in the morning and rustles up those sleeping on the streets and alleys, and sometimes he works in the evenings, you know, so sort of managing a lot of that. And he gets a lot of help with the school resource officers in the summertime. They come out and patrol downtown in the summertime, and that's sort of when that street activity elevates a little bit. Sure. Both Ambassador Dave and Officer Randy are doing a lot on that graffiti space, so, you know, trying to keep our graffiti down, and, you know, reporting problems. Eyes and ears on the streets, you know, really important to know what's going on. Both of them are serving a lot of customers and tourists, just people stopping and asking for help, directions to a certain place, or, you know, they're trying to find something, or they're looking to buy something. Where do they want to get it? So both of them are serving the public, you know, a lot in the
safety / shopping consultant.
Safety concierge.
Yeah.
Well, I did a little profile of Dave Chrisham, the downtown ambassador, and it was really fun following him around. And
what'd you learn from
service
that?
he provides is really great. Well, we did a Thursday night out, you know, where he was handing out chamber information or downtown information. We also did the Saturday market, so the farmers market here, Clark Fork Market all the way down there, People's Montana Market.
People's Market.
Yeah, on Pine.
So have you seen him with his, we call it the MIC, the MIK, the Mobile
big
Information
cart,
Kiosk.
I have seen that.
So it's a custom-made four-wheel bike with a visitor information center all packed inside.
It looks a little like the Pope Mobile.
Yeah. So he goes and he sets it up and he pulls everything out and gets his displays out, and then he has all the information that a tourist might want.
It's so cool. Really a great thing.
Teaching downtown employees a lot about, you know, where to park and how to use the Passport app. Teaching, you know, tourists how to use those things, where to park, you know.
And when they don't have to pay. I mean, a number of times I've been tooling around here on the weekend and say, it's a weekend, you don't have to do it, you know.
But if people out there don't know, the Passport app will change your life.
Yeah, it's so amazing,
it's
isn't
awesome.
it? And it's really good if you want to pay for your customers' parking, or you're doing a special promotion, or you have a group coming. There's a lot of different ways you can use
convenient.
it. Yeah. So lots of talk about parking in the Downtown Master Plan update. Of course, everybody's favorite topic, your first and last experience.
Right.
Well, and I think people don't know, I did a show in the spring about the Parking Commission, and I didn't know that if you get a letter showing, that you work or live downtown, that qualifies you for the 10-hour cheaper meters.
Yeah, 10-hour meters are intended for people who live and work downtown.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
for instance,
cool.
see?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a bit to know.
Right.
There is a bit to know.
I mean, and on top of all of this that you have going on all the time, this has to be one of the busiest building seasons downtown Missoula
That
has
is
ever
extraordinary.
Yeah, so
I don't know if
we,
there's a dollar amount, but when I
there
last looked,
is.
it was hundreds of millions of
It's
dollars
incredible.
of construction.
So we've been tracking major investment in downtown over the last 10 years. It's $850 million of new
Nearly a
investment that has
billion.
come into our downtown. And that's private projects. For example, the Mercantile, the Stockman Bank, and of course all the work in the old Sawmill District.
Right. Yeah.
And then it's transportation projects. You look at like the Madison Bridge improvements, Orange and Van Buren roundabouts. This year it was the ADA project.
Right.
Next year, starting in January, it's the Higgins Bridge rehab.
That's shocking, yeah.
So looking forward to that.
Yeah. We call it short-term pain, long-term gain.
I know.
Yeah.
We'll just tough it out.
And we're going to put up these signs that say, bridge, please, you can't stop me from shopping.
Good.
Or, please be patient while we're getting cooler,
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
like that.
That's
we'll do
going to
something
be a
kind of
challenge,
fun.
that's right.
Or, hello, Missoula, we're getting diggy with it. So we got some fun stuff that I think we'll roll out. But, it's not going to be easy,
Well, there's no way to do this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we all
That's
need
right.
a better bridge there.
Yeah, we
and so,
do. And we're going to love what's there when it's done.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of construction projects, a lot of new hotels, a
The
lot of
hospital
new
just
businesses.
offered the
Yes.
new-
Providence
and
St. Pat's.
Right.
Another $7 million building was announced for gastrointestinal.
Yes, I saw that.
A specialty further on Broadway.
Right.
And a lot of that has to do with the economy. So the economy's good. A lot of it has to do with the place that we've made in our downtown, not just our work, but our community's work to make downtown the very coolest, hippest place that it can be. A lot of it has to do with, property values rising, and of course, clean and safe programming contributes to that. And a lot of it has to do with, our community's beautiful. It's picturesque. It's, there's a lot of vibrant entrepreneurs who work downtown, and we're a downtown that's not really like, it's hard to find national brands in our downtown. So we're very much of a local flavor kind of downtown, and throughout this master plan update, what we really heard a lot of people say is we want to stay original and we want to stay authentic and we want to be the Missoula that we've always been. And so that's our challenge, is how do we keep the soul of our community, in view of all the new people moving to Missoula. We have many new residential properties, popping up, new people living downtown, working downtown. We've had a lot of growth in the tech sector, so stay authentic, stay original, be green, be inclusive. Those are a lot of the themes that came out of the master plan.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The other thing we do is that you may not know about is all of the garbage and recycling removal from the street cans. We have over 100 street cans that we empty 7 days a week.
That's your job?
That's our job.
Oh my gosh.
I've
is our
noticed them,
job.
and they have the Downtown Association on them.
Yeah.
I guess I never really thought of what happens when you throw
So we
stuff in
remove
there.
all of the garbage and recycling out of the street cans. We plow the alleys.
Wow.
We plow the cycle tracks. We do a lot of hot water power washing and graffiti removal and, all kinds of maintenance,
Right.
the common area maintenance and management. Our Downtown Clean Team is a program of the
that's
BID.
great.
So we have a clean team group
I've
from
seen that.
Opportunity Resources out sweeping and cleaning and weeding the common area spaces. So, our downtown is in really good condition right now.
It really is.
And I think that is really to your credit and your coalition's credit, because I talk to business people all over the state who have, you know, the same basic economy, the same, you know, beauty
Yeah.
and nature, but not everyone is as happy and as excited about what's going on as Missoulians are.
Missoula is a special place. It's different than any other city in Montana. You know, it's more artistic, it's more diverse, it's more liberal. We're more passionate about taking care of our people. And that's what sets us apart from other Montana cities and towns. You know?
I mean, I thought when I was at one of the sessions where we were brainstorming for the new plan and just talking about priorities and things, there was always a public art
Yeah.
table and an
Yeah,
avenue.
big
There
art.
was, you know, and I was like,
Yeah. Like the
this-
traffic signal boxes,
Right.
you know,
Right.
kind of an example too.
So,
Yeah. So we're very fortunate this year we get to host the Montana Downtown and Main Street Conference.
oh, cool.
Oh.
So we'll get to showcase a lot of what we've been doing, our investment, our public art, our planning, our new hotels, our new banks, buildings. So we'll have folks from all across the state here October 23 through 25. And the ZAC grand opening will be that Friday.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's
So we'll get to build that into our schedule. And, you know, we'll have about 100 folks from cities and towns all across the state. And it's our turn to host. This is the third time that we've hosted. And so it's kind of a key opportunity right now to really talk about what's
Oh
happening.
my gosh, so they just all leave green with envy. I
Yeah.
don't want to mention names of where they'll go back. They'll be sorry. They
It
don't
is
live
a great
there.
opportunity, but I also know how much work it is to
Yeah,
host
it's
one
a
of
lot
those
of
things.
work.
It's a
So,
lot of work. And our
So-
staff has worked really hard because on top of all of our regular stuff,
right.
we've had the master plan update, BID renewal, and now the downtown conference. And that's on top of, you know, all the other things that
Yeah.
we do.
Yeah, that's right.
Watering the flowers and changing out the banners and hosting 100 events in the park and keeping it clean and safe.
Festival
Right.
of Lights coming up. We got a few
Yeah,
people interested.
so Festival of Trees, Parade of Lights,
Yeah.
and then also our foundation is a fiscal sponsor for the Festival of Remembrance now.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
formerly
good for
known as
you.
Day of the
That
Dead.
was the next
That's
big thing.
interesting.
Festival of Remembrance,
Yeah.
Saturday, November 2 this year, so it'll be fun and exciting.
Oh, we
We
have to
should
get
get
someone,
someone on.
yeah,
Yeah.
to
That'd be
highlight
good.
that and the changes. You know, that debate about cultural appropriation
Right.
and now the rebranding and all that's
But
very
again,
interesting.
it was so impressive how that was handled because
Yeah.
it wasn't easy.
No.
There were some difficult conversations, but it's still going on and
Yeah.
it's
And
better.
important conversations to have.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, certainly conversations you want to have in a respectful way.
Exactly.
But you know, again, that's what makes Missoula so Missoula and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
unique and different. You wouldn't have that conversation in Billings.
Right.
You wouldn't. So lots of fun stuff coming up. We've moved the Festival of Trees to Stockman Bank. So
Oh.
wait till you see how we decorate that space. And you
Wow,
know, that
it's
whole
huge.
corner at Broadway and Orange will
Yeah.
be really fun to showcase.
Oh,
in that
nice.
festival.
Nice.
And I think it'll be a 10-day event. And then the Parade of Lights, always super popular, will be that first Saturday in December. And of course, we also have Small Business Saturday.
Yeah, yeah.
The Saturday after Thanksgiving. And actually, before any of that hits, we'll have Ladies' Night downtown on Wednesday, October 23rd. We do a Ladies' Night twice a year to just encourage fun and shopping that has an added benefit.
Right.
Interesting. I saw that on the website, and I meant to ask you. I'm glad you brought it up
Yeah.
because I had then
Because it
forgotten.
was Ladies' Night.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah, so fun stuff coming up. So
That's
hopefully
great.
everybody's plugged into what's happening downtown. It's been
Yeah.
an exciting year for us, and Officer Crastle is alive and well. I think he's had a hard job, you know, no
That's what I
matter
heard.
what, you know, he's got a social worker that's working with him right
Oh,
now
that's
and
great.
Oh, that's
going
great.
out on patrol with him. So they're really working with people on an individual basis to really find out what their needs are and try and meet those needs.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's a trend, you know, and we heard it from Nancy Pastino, you know, regarding
Yeah.
September being Suicide Awareness Month, is that people are starting to see that police are not a substitute for mental health
Right.
professionals, and often people in mental health crises get mixed up you know, and end up being a police issue when they really need to be a professional
And it takes a
social work
coalition
issue.
working together.
Yeah,
to-
we've heard that a lot today, haven't we?
I think our community's working better together, particularly in that space, that coordinated
Yeah.
entry
Yeah.
system, you know, everybody working with the same software and the same programming, you know, the 10-year plan to end homelessness, the housing
Right.
policy that recently got adopted and the work they're doing there. We're moving mountains.
Yeah, it's
And it's
impressive.
from this movement too, we talk a lot about the library partners coming together,
Yeah.
collective impact, that
Yeah.
organizations, only by organizations working together
Yeah.
to solve problems. If somebody's doing this over here and that over there, there's no coordination, the effect is so much less.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's part of why having a downtown master plan has been so effective for us, is because it's getting all of our organizations and our private sector on the same page, moving in the same direction to try and accomplish the community's vision.
I guess we better go. I see it's nearing 5.
Time is fun.
Linda, thank you so much for taking the
Yeah,
time.
this was a great update. We really
Thank
Yeah, it
you.
really
Thank you
is.
for the invitation. I always love to come and visit with you guys. I think you do great work, and I do want to give a shout out to MCAT. You guys have done a lot of great stuff for our programming
Oh,
and
you're
really
most
helping us get
welcome.
the word out. So
Yep.
you're killing it, Joel Baird.
Yes, he is.
Thank you. Well, on that happy note, dear viewer, I'll go polish some buttons. You're going to be gone. Kim is going on a
No, I'll
much
be here
needed
for the
trip.
next show.
On October the 8th.
Yes, I'll be here for that.
Kim will be here.
Kim,
So-
thank you for what you do. It's great that you're still co-hosting.
Oh, this is
Yeah, the
fun.
sixth
This is
season.
fun. And I get to find out what's going on all around
Yeah,
town.
see.
That's the cool part.
So for MCAT, I'm Joel Baird.
And I'm Kim Anderson.
We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.